This is East Asia Tonight.
Good evening, I'm Mutali Edwards. You're watching our brand new bulletin, East Asia Tonight. And here are tonight's top stories from the region. Could China play a key role in keeping Iran's conflict with Israel from becoming an all-out war? Well, the Mideast tensions overshadowing German Chancellor Olaf Scholz's visit to China as he balances trade, competition and an aim to de-risk from Asia's #1 economy. A presidential-sized problem. Find out why South Korean leader Yoon Suk-yeol's approval rating has plummeted to its lowest point since last October. And elsewhere in Asia, Singapore set to have a new prime minister on May 15th. Deputy Prime Minister Lawrence Wong will officially take over the reins from outgoing leader Lee Hsien Loong. And ahead on East Asia Tonight, the battle for talent intensifies in East Asia as the region grapples with labor shortages across various sectors. We'll explore the underlying factors driving this phenomenon. And we'll also delve into how the labor shortage is affecting Hong Kong's construction sector and why a policy allowing manpower from China is hardly a magic solution to this problem. A conflict thousands of kilometers away from China could become a pressing matter for leaders in Beijing. A longtime ally, Iran, is on the cusp of an all-out conflict with Israel. Chinese authorities have expressed deep concern in the wake of the Islamic Republic's unprecedented attack on Israel. Coming up on East Asia Tonight, more pain in China's property sector. A state-backed developer, China Wanke, admits it is facing a cash crunch, making it harder for it to operate. But it says it has plans in place. We will dig into that story next. And elsewhere in Asia, a leadership transition in Singapore. We've got the details of Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong's handover to Deputy Prime Minister Lawrence Wong. Again, you are watching East Asia Tonight. And before we bring you more news from that region, here's an update on a big story in Southeast Asia. Singapore Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong will step down from office exactly a month from now in what has been a widely anticipated leadership succession. Deputy Prime Minister Lawrence Wong, who was earlier appointed the leader of the so-called fourth-generation political team, will take over. Well, time now for a short break, but coming up on East Asia Tonight, the war for talent heats up across the region with acute labor shortages worsening as populations age and decline. Could China play a key role in keeping Iran's conflict with Israel from becoming an all-out war? The Middle East tensions overshadowing German Chancellor Olaf Scholz's visit to China as he balances trade competition and an aim to de-risk from Asia's #1 economy. And a presidential-sized problem. Find out why South Korean leader Yoon Suk-yeol's approval rating has plummeted to its lowest point since last October. And elsewhere in Asia, Singapore set to have a new prime minister on the 15th of May. Deputy Prime Minister Lawrence Wong will officially take over the reins from Mr. Lee Hsien Loong. Now, the war for talent is heating up all across East Asia, and it's not just skilled workers that are in short supply. Acute labor shortages cut across many sectors as the region grays amid tumbling birth rates. For the debut of East Asia Tonight, we shall examine the labor woes across the region. Well, Sean and Deborah, we still have plenty more to discuss, but do stay here with us because we're going to go for a short break. But coming up on East Asia now, what Sean and Deborah, what we'll be discussing is about a labor crunch in Hong Kong's construction sector and how that's prompting stakeholders to reconsider industrial norms. Facing a worsening labour shortage, Hong Kong has turned to mainland China to fill the gap. And since last July, companies in the construction and transportation industries have been able to apply to hire workers from China. But not everyone is happy with the new policy. Jojo Chan with this report. Now, some headlines from media outlets in East Asia. Hong Kong's The Standard reports fewer athletes could be participating in the upcoming Paris Olympics, as the results from one or two team events have been unsatisfactory. That's according to the city's Secretary for Culture, Sports and Tourism, Kevin Yung. In the Taipei Times, the number of pet dogs and cats in Taiwan outnumbering last year's newborns, data reflecting the lifestyle trend of the island's residents, perhaps. And Rodong Sinmun reports Kim Jong-un, the leader of North Korea, has sent educational aid fund and stipends to North Korean children in Japan. Well, this gesture marks the birthday of the late former leader Kim Il-sung, his grandfather, today. And on the Mainichi, European countries competing to have their signature dishes featured on the menu of Japanese rice bowl chain Matsuya. The inclusion of lesser-known foreign specialties has promoted awareness of their countries of origin. And we've come to the end of our first telecast of East Asia Tonight this Monday. Don't forget your headlines anytime at cna.asia and CNA 938 Radio. And of course, you can always look for us on Facebook, YouTube, and X. Thanks for watching.